Hey guys, welcome back to New England Fire Cooking. I'm Aaron Higgins, and today we've got some real lousy weather outside. So we're not going to be firing up the charcoal grill or anything like that. We've got a little gas grill. I like to use my little Weber Q on days like today. And what I've got here is I have this Ziploc bag with a couple of Filet Mignons in there. I picked these up at Westerly Packing. And what I did was I just let them hang out for a little while, come up to room temperature. And I threw them in this bag along with a few sprigs of thyme and rosemary, fresh thyme and rosemary, a big dollop of butter. I put in about 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, and then about a tablespoon of fresh garlic. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using this machine that you probably hear making some noise in the background. It's called a sous vide unit. And basically what it is, it's a bath of 115-degree water that we're going to be submerging these fillets into. And it's going to do a really good job. It's going to break down. It's really going to get some flavor of all these herbs and butter and spices. And then what we're going to do is we're going to finish them off on the grill grates. But before I get into this, there's a couple points I want to touch on regarding this sous vide process. So I've been seeing a lot of negative commentary online and social media, in barbecue forums and barbecue Facebook groups, really knocking the sous vide. And I'm not really sure why that is. You know, I think I've been seeing a lot of purists or a lot of old school grillers that are saying, no, we're not going to put this in a water bath. You know, it's not the same amount of heart and soul that goes into it and all this other nonsense. And I don't know why they're doing that. Clearly, they've never tried it. If you haven't tried sous vide and you are knocking it simply because it's a water bath and you sear your steak off on the grill to finish it, you've clearly never had it. Because if you did, you wouldn't be saying any of that. This process imparts all of these awesome flavors into this steak over the course of a couple of hours. You're not going to get the same flavor profile cooking hot and fast. Not saying you're going to get a bad flavor profile, you'll get a great flavor profile. I cook hot and fast all the time, but it's not the same. 2 hours imparting herbs, butter, and spices into your meat is much, much, much better than just a couple minutes on the grill, really. So, before I put this in the water bath, just a couple things I want to let you know about this. This is just a Ziploc bag. If you have a cryovac or a food saver, that would be perfect. Even if you have a little vacuum sealer kit made by Ziploc and you can just pump out the air, that's fine. So I just threw this in this Ziploc bag, and it's really important to try to get as much air out. You want to remove the air. That's about it. Now I'm going to get the camera over here. We're going to drop this into the water bath. So as you can see, we're at exactly 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're running about 9 liters of water in this unit. What we're going to do is we're going to open this lid, and in go the steaks. We're going to get this shut, and we're going to time it for 2 hours. So to go with these fillets, what I've decided to do is quarter up a bunch of small red potatoes and put them in this pan. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little bit of rosemary to these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and I'm just going to hit it with this French onion soup, condensed soup. I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to get all this mixed around and incorporated. You want to make sure that your potatoes get nice and covered by the soup. Then afterwards, just throw a couple dollops of butter right on top. That's pretty good. We're right at 375, and now we're going to throw these potatoes in. If they finish before the steaks are done, that's okay. We're just going to keep them covered with some tin foil during the cooking process, and we'll just shut the oven off and they'll stay nice and warm. So to go with this steak and potatoes, what I have here is some uncut fresh green beans. I got a little bit of melted butter in this pan. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get those right in. And I'm going to come over with some sliced almonds and a little bit of garlic powder. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix all this up and get a nice coating of butter on everything. Gives a really good flavor. I'll lower our heat and just let it do its thing. Okay guys, we've got this Weber Q nice and hot. We've got our grill grates on there. And before I throw these fillets on, as always, what I want to do is just give it a nice dose of cooking spray. What we're going to do is we're going to take these fillets and we're going to throw them at a nice angle Really not searing them for too long. Give them a good press. Get some good grill marks on these and get it closed. Okay guys, so it's been about a minute. We're gonna spin these, just rotate them. Get it closed, then we'll give them a flip. Okay, we're gonna give these a flip. Got some nice marks on these bad boys. Oh yeah, look at that filet. Get it closed, let it roll for another minute, and then we'll rotate it again. Okay, it's been about a minute. Time for a rotate. This big one here has my name on it. Get it closed, one more minute, and then we'll be done. Okay guys, here we are. Sauteed green beans, oven roasted potatoes, and some French onion soup, and of course, the coup de grace, some sous vide, and then seared filet mignon. Before I dive right into this, like I said, this big one here has got my name on it. But before I dive right into this, let's do a quick run through of what we did. This one was real easy. All you have to do is take some filet mignons, toss them in a Ziploc bag, get a good dollop of butter, some fresh rosemary and thyme, about a tablespoon of chopped garlic, then some kosher salt and some black pepper. Get it in the Ziploc bag, push all the air out of it, as much of it as you can. If you have a food saver or a cryovac or even one of the hand pumps, I've got one of those, I just don't have any bags for it right now. Anything like that will work out great. Set your sous vide to 115-degree water, drop your steaks in there for 2 hours, pull them out, sear them off on the grill. And I did about a minute, one to 2 minutes per side, depending on what kind of marks you're getting. The little Weber Q doesn't get nearly as hot as my charcoal grill. If I was doing this on a charcoal grill, I do about 30 seconds between every rotation. On the little Weber Q, I did a minute between each rotation, put some great grill marks on it. And then with the potatoes, what we had was some red potatoes that we just quartered, tossed them in a pan. We sprayed the pan with olive oil before we tossed them in. And then after that, just gave it a little bit of rosemary and some French onion soup and some dollops of butter. And then we got it right in the oven at 375 for about an hour and a half. And the last half hour, I pulled the tin foil off the top of it. I just wanted that sauce to cook down a little bit, thicken up a tad, and it's looking really good. So without further ado, here I go. I'm gonna get right into this filet. I'm gonna knock this little hanger-on off, but I can tell you right now is that this is really tender, feels really tender. And great googly moogly, does this look good right here. That looks awesome. Gotta get me a bite. So tender. So unbelievably tender. Wow. That's incredible. That is really incredible. Pork tender. That right there, guys, is what you're looking at. That's a steak. That's a steak if I've ever seen one. Filet mignon is awesome. And when you do it right, it's really good. I'm gonna go in here for some of these almonds and green beans. They're buttery. Got a slight crunch to them. Almonds are awesome. I love pan-fried almonds. Nice hint of garlic. Perfect green bean for a perfect steak. And now you know what I gotta do is I gotta come in here and I gotta get me one of these potatoes and another bite of steak to go with it. Can't stress enough, sous vide. Go sous vide. If you can make something really good, you're putting your heart and soul into that. Okay, if you're willing to put steaks in a water bath for 2 hours before you eat them, I'd say you're putting your heart and soul into it. If you're just blasting them out in, 10 minutes, I'm not saying you're not putting your heart and soul into it, but you're not putting 2 hours into it. This is really good. This is excellent, actually. I wouldn't even say it's really good. I'd say this is top notch. This is real top notch. I can only imagine what this would be like with Wagyu or something like that. It would be absolutely out of this world. But I'm sitting here dilly-dallying. These potatoes, oh man, this is gonna be good. Tender potatoes. Steak's almost as tender as the potatoes. That gives you an idea of what you're dealing with here. The steak is nearly as tender as the potatoes. Use a sous vide, but French onion soup and the potatoes is absolutely unbelievable. Saves you a lot of time. You don't have to season the hell out of everything. Just throw some French onion soup in there, and you'll be good. Anyway, I'm about to sit down. This one's for my wife. She's gonna be a real happy camper in a minute. But listen, guys, if you like what you see here and you like what we're doing, give us a subscribe to our YouTube channel, check us out on Instagram, check us out on Facebook. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time.